Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Jake, and I hope you've been living life on the edge. Welcome back to another video. Today we have a ownership comparison video between my 2016 GT4 and my 2021 GT500. Now, a few of the things that we're going to be going over are, of course, the driving experience, the ownership practicality, which, newsflash, neither one of these are practical as far as, owning the car goes, maintenance and costs, which is not terrible, not great, and then likes and dislikes, and of course, we'll get to the final conclusion. So let's get into the video.
Artlist.io.
Now, when buying any car, I think the looks are probably the most important part. Second to none to the performance, of course, of the vehicle, how it makes you feel, how it makes you stand out, that whole experience of owning and buying a car. The looks, like I said, are probably the most important part. Now, I've had the GT500 for 3 years. I absolutely love this car. In the very beginning, when it first came out, I wasn't all that impressed with the styling and the design on it, but now I have just grown to absolutely love it. It's super aggressive, very angular, bold lines, mean looking. I look at the front end of this and I'm just like, I think this might consume someone's third child. That's what I think when I think of the front end. Whereas when we come over to the Porsche right here, it's kind of like a clay sculpture that's just being finished and perfectly molded into something beautiful, and as the kids would say nowadays, demure, or whatever that word is, or something like that. It's just more elegant, it's a lot more chill, a lot more calm. It has a presence of its own, and if you know, then you know, and you know, right? So, for me, when I'm driving both of these cars, and I see one in my rearview mirror, when I'm driving the GT4 and I see the 500 in the rearview mirror, yeah, this one gets me going. It definitely creates a tent in my... Whereas when I drive the GT500 and I see the GT4 in the background, it's like, cool, it's a Porsche. Moving on to the Porsche. Now, I just bought this one 3 months ago. These have appreciated in value, and I hope that it keeps appreciating in value, so I feel a little bit better about myself. So I found this on Cars and Bids. This had 460 miles on it, pretty much fully spec'd out besides a few options. It is in the GT Silver, which I absolutely love. It's not the craziest color, but I think it looks really good. I paid $110,000 for this car, $86,000 MSRP. So like I said, they have gone up in value. After taxes and registration, it was roughly about $120,000. Like I said, with all of my cars, what I do is PPF, ceramic, and tint. So we did a full front end, roof, door, mirrors. We also did the air scoops because you get a lot of debris and rocks that come into this area. We also did this rear piece behind the wheel. Now, we didn't do a whole bumper. We just did this part right here. This is where it gets the most attraction when it comes to rock and debris. So you can see we actually kind of cut the PPF right here that just follows this body line. Marco did a great job. It's noticeable, but not really, and I really don't mind. I think they did a great job, and yeah. So going on to fuel and maintenance, I've only had this car for about 3 months, and I have tried to put as many miles on it as possible because I was trying to hit the break-in period on it so I could take it to the track, which may or may not happen. We'll see. But so far, I've spent $353.60 on fuel. That's 87 gallons and 6 fill-ups. My average is 17.5 miles to the gallon, with an average of about 250 miles per tank, roughly. So the GT500, which I've had for 3 years now, I bought in 2021, brand new off the showroom floor with 13 miles. It cost me $92,000 for MSRP. And then with taxes, registration, all that included, it was $107,000. Oh my gosh, you paid over a sticker. I can already see it and hear it in the comments. You know what? Listen here, listen here. 2021, it was a different time when it came to buying cars and paying MSRP for those cars. I paid over, I don't care. All right, moving on. With all the cars, I do PPF. I do ceramic and I do tint. So PPF on this car, full hood, full front end. We did to the roof to about right here. We did the carbon fiber inlay trim piece. We also did this lower quarter panel part in the front, which I guess I didn't do high enough because I have a rock chip literally 1 finger width above where I did the PPF line, and another rock chip, and another one right here too. So yeah, that sucks. And I also have the same rock chip on the other side as well. And then the last place that I did PPF on was, of course, this rear deck lid, because this got scratched up like crazy on my GT350. So I decided to do that right there. Now, getting into gas and maintenance, I have not done a very good job of recording all of this. I only started last year with this app called Fuely, which I really, really love. And according to this app, in 1 year, I've spent $935.82 in fuel, which is 226 gallons worth and 17 times the fill up, with an average of 11.4 miles to the gallon and 160 miles per full tank. So that's great. And then I do track this car a decent amount and take it out to the roll races. So I am doing oil changes and changing the oil filter more often, but I've not had to do any major service like brakes or anything like that. So according to this right here, total service cost, oil filter, oil changes in general, $1,437.88. Now, with maintenance and costs, this is something that a lot of people don't really take into consideration, but I do, and that's modifications on your car. I think everybody modifies their car to make their car in their own way. So I want to talk about costs about that. Starting off with the American car. Now, I think when it comes to almost every single American car, they're just so much cheaper. I think it's because they're engineered a little bit easier, plus, the cost of them are a little bit cheap. There's a lot that goes into it, whatnot. But to give you a perfect example, I have put about $5,000 into this car from modifications. That would be tires, intake, pulley, tune, injectors, lowering springs, all that stuff. And currently, as it is, which is just intake, tune, pulley, 265, and a flex fuel tune, I am at $840 to the wheel. Right? So I'm kind of close to the value of this car right now. And when I say that German cars in general just suck for modifying because of the price and the difficulty, $1,000 for headers, which is very cheap for headers. I am very grateful for that. Dynamic driven performance did an excellent job. Video on that, all that stuff in the description down below. But like I was saying in the beginning of the video, these right here, these. $1,000, $900, okay, after tax, all that stuff, the pain, the suffering, the cries, the tears, it's $1,000 worth of damages, $1,000 for these. So yeah, modifications, American, German, American wins 10 times, hands down. Daily driving and usability of this car. We're going to start with the Porsche GT4 and we're going to start on the inside. Now, this is a Porsche GT car. GT meaning lightweight, meaning they spare no expense to get rid of what is absolutely not necessary when it comes to saving weight on this car. With this being a Cayman platform as well, it's a little bit smaller on the inside and just all the way around, and we'll go ahead and show you inside just kind of how small it is. So, starting off with these bucket seats, like I said in the beginning of the video, I absolutely love these seats when I'm in them, but getting in and out of them, especially if you're doing a grocery haul or going out on a nice date with the wife or the homeboy, whatever it may be, no judgment here, it's a little bit of a process. Now, it's not too bad of a process. You grab the steering wheel, put your hand on the door sill, lift your butt up and over, just to make sure that you don't crease or damage the side bolstering on the bucket seats. Now, if you don't care, cool, bro, but I do care. So, storage on the inside here, very limited. There's not a whole lot. Like I said, it's a track sports car. They didn't really have storage in mind as far as the inside of the cabin goes. There's still quite a bit of storage on the front and the trunk, which we'll look at in a second. So, inside, you've got this little center armrest with storage. There's not a whole much, and it's not that deep. iPhone case for reference. You have the glove box, which is a decent standard size glove box. Not sure what else I'd put in there besides the owner's manual. And of course, this little thing to play my music because this doesn't have Apple CarPlay or, a phone cord to put into. The Bluetooth is okay, but it's also kind of garbage at the same time. And then the last little bit of storage that is inside this cabin is, of course, the door holder, which is on the side right there, which is holding my glorious Vit Pipers. So, not a whole lot of practicality on the inside of the cabin, and one thing I absolutely despise in almost every Porsche that I've been in, these cup holders. Now, as cool and as engineered as they are to allow you to still see your carbon fiber, they're loose, and I don't really think there's a way you can tighten them. Plus, I have tried putting stuff in here to hold them and whatnot. Newsflash, these just suck. Your drinks are going to fly all over. It's going to ruin your leather. It's going to ruin your Alcantara. 10 out of 10. Would not recommend. Just shove those back in there. Forget they ever exist. And don't ever touch it again. Now, with this being a European car, it also is mid-engine,
which means there's quite a bit of practicality storage-wise, at least for a car of this size. For example, the frunk is pretty decent sized, enough to fit a full-grown man that's 5'6" in the frunk of this car. So, if you have a road trip you need to go on, you can for sure at least a full-size suitcase in there, maybe 2 if you're lucky, and you'll be about your way merry to go. Come around the rear is also pretty decently spaced as well, being a mid-engine car. There's not a whole ton of storage back here, and there's not a whole lot of depth to this either, but enough where you could store 1 small bag, maybe 2 or something like that, and if you need to, you can put stuff on the shelf up here. There also are these kind of weird storage compartments way up here. They're fairly deep. I'm not sure what you would put in there or what was the point of them, really. It's kind of weirdly placed and like not really easy to get to by any means, but hey, Porsche and their engineering, right? Now, the GT500 has a lot more cabin space, which I actually prefer over the GT4. The GT4 being a Porsche GT car, they really, like I said, they just cut out whatever is unnecessary. And in their mind, back seats or just practicality, livability, and usability is just not necessary. Moving into the GT500, the Ford engineers, I think, thought about this a little bit different. Now, of course, this is based off the Mustang GT platform, which with every Mustang GT platform, you have rear seats, which are pretty good. And I'll show you how to get back there in a second and what that's like being someone that's 5'6". It's not great, let me tell you. I think the Ford engineers kind of wanted to design this car very similar to the Audi R8, which is considered one of the most daily drivable supercars in that category. So there's a lot of plush, there's a lot of comfort, there's a lot of airiness and just openness and a decent amount of storage and practicality. So a few things that are great about the inside is, for one, these seats, a lot more comfortable. They are bucket seats, they do hold you pretty well, but the GT4 seats, they really hold you and they really secure, they hug you. And these, they do a decent job, but I like the buckets in the GT4 better. Moving on to storage on the inside, of course, we have this center piece, which has all my junk in it. For example, I have a little Aston Martin, actually that's a Zinger or whatever it's called. I got a trophy from a car show, have no idea what for, but there's enough room in there where you can throw all your junk in there. Of course, a glove box, and gonna have to censor that out because stuff and whatnot. One thing that's actually cool about this glove box is there's another hidden compartment right here where you put the user manual, but I got a bunch of stickers in there instead, because who reads the manual on their cars anyway? And then apparently there we go. The other storage area is, of course, in the doors, and I was surprised because there's actually some hidden storage in there. Damon, if you want to show them with the water bottle, you can suck that bad boy right up in there, and it's gone into the vast darkness. You'll never find it again. Like I said, there are back seats to this car. You can have a human adult back there if you want to. Do I recommend it? Nope. But let me show you how that works. So on the seat, there's a handle, which brings that forward. And then underneath the seat, another handle to slide the seat forward. And then you just kind of mosey your way back here. It is big enough to fit my big body back here. But as you can see, I am like sitting upright. I am touching the ceiling. Now, from my personal experience of sitting back here, I have hit my head on the glass more than once, and it is honestly terrible. I can't slide that back because I don't have long arms, but I can tell you right now, me driving at 5'6", I would be comfortable. Any other bigger man who, obviously there isn't anyone taller than me, I would not have a comfortable time back here. Going over bumps is an absolute death sentence and a way to break your neck, your spine, your pelvis, everything that's included in this part of your body. And the cameraman can tell you from his personal experience as well, that has happened to him too. So yeah, 10 out of 10, actually 100 out of 10, do not recommend ever putting anyone back here. Moving on to the GT500 when it comes to storage, there's about as much as the GT4. If you're including the rear seats. Now, right now we've got the trunk open and there's a little bit of junk in here, but because I fit in the GT4, I'm going to show you that you can also kidnap a full-grown 5'6" adult male if you would like to. Just for science, you know, not that anybody would do that anyway, but you could indeed fit somebody in here. And honestly, if I wanted to, yeah, don't show my butt, that's weird. If you wanted to, you could take a nice snooze or a nap in here. It's actually really, oh, wow. And one thing I didn't know, now that I'm in here, being kidnapped, is the handle to let yourself out is glow in the dark. Good job, Ford.
Hi, Editor Jake here. I forgot to record this part. The next part is going to be an exhaust battle between the two. Let me know in the comments down below which one you think won said exhaust battle. Now, when it comes to a daily driving aspect, both the cars aren't too bad. They're very similar in far as how they feel, how easy it is to get them over speed bumps and dips and all that kind of stuff. I will say the GT4 is a little bit more rough just because of how the suspension and the chassis is set up, because this is strictly a track car essentially. So, and of course, you know, we talked about the interior cabin space and how it's not all plushy and comfy and whatnot. The wife would rather take the GT500, which, like I said, I think Ford kind of designed this in a way to be similar to the Audi R8, where it can be very daily drivable and yet a beast of a car whenever you want it to be. So the GT500 is equipped with Magna Ride suspension, which can make it really nice, soft, and cloudy over the bumps and whatnot, which is really nice. Of course, the interior is a lot more spacious. The seats are a lot more comfy. There's a lot more room. So from a daily driver's perspective, the GT500 wins in that category. That's going to do it for the video, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. And of course, I'd love to know your opinions, your thoughts, your ideas, and suggestions for future videos. Put those all down below in the comments section. Of course, like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. I honestly love these cars. I'm very grateful and honored that I have the ability to own them both, because they're so unique in their own ways. And in some ways, I love one more than the other. And sometimes I love this one more than that one. And it's just, like I said, it's an awesome and great feeling to be able to have both, to be able to experience them both at the exact same time. And so, yeah, that's my overall take and opinion as an owner on both of these cars. Let me know what you think. And I think I'll be doing a more in-depth video of like the overall driving experience of each car separately. So let me know in the comments down below if you'd like to check that out. And if you don't want to check it out, cool, I'm going to make the video anyway. So yeah, anywho, thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to live life on the edge. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.